Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something crucial if you're on a path of self-improvement and personal growth. Respect. We all want it, but how do you actually earn it and, more importantly, keep it? The truth is, respect isn't just given. It's earned through actions, behaviors, and mindset. And if you're not careful, certain habits can quietly sabotage any respect you've built. In today's video, we'll discuss 6 habits that you absolutely need to remove from your life if you ever want to be truly respected. These insights are grounded in Stoic philosophy, which teaches us to focus on what we can control and to be mindful of our actions. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. 1. Being inconsistent. The first habit to get rid of is inconsistency. People respect those who show up when they say they will, who follow through on their commitments, and who can be counted on to deliver. If you're someone who makes promises you can't keep or constantly changes your mind, you're sending a clear message: you can't rely on me. I used to struggle with this myself. I'd agree to plans and then back out last minute, or make promises I wasn't fully prepared to keep. And guess what? People started to expect less from me. I noticed that I wasn't being taken seriously anymore. If you want respect, you need to become someone who follows through. That means committing only to what you're truly capable of and delivering on your word every single time. Consistency builds trust, and trust is the foundation of respect. 2. Always needing to be right. The second habit is the need to always be right. People who can't admit when they're wrong, or who insist on proving their point at all costs, lose respect quickly. It's exhausting being around someone who's more interested in winning an argument than understanding another person's perspective. I learned this the hard way. I used to argue my point relentlessly, even when deep down I knew I was wrong. It wasn't until I started embracing the Stoic idea of being indifferent to winning or losing arguments that things changed for me. Instead of trying to be right, I began focusing on finding the truth or understanding the other person's viewpoint. By letting go of the need to always be right, you open yourself up to learning, to growth, and to healthier relationships. And guess what? People respect that humility far more than they respect someone who's always trying to prove a point. 3. Not respecting other people's boundaries. The third habit is a big one: not respecting other people's boundaries. If you're someone who constantly oversteps and ignores the limits others set for themselves, you're sending the message that their comfort and feelings don't matter to you. Trust me, that's a surefire way to ensure they'll never respect you. I've learned this lesson the hard way. I used to think that being overly involved in people's lives was a sign of caring. I thought offering unsolicited advice, pushing my opinion, or constantly checking in was just me being a good friend or concerned colleague. But here's the reality: it was suffocating. And because I didn't respect other people's boundaries, they didn't respect me in return. There was a time when I had a close friend who started pulling away from me, and I couldn't figure out why. I'd call her every day, text her about every little thing, and constantly insert myself into her problems. I thought I was helping, but in reality, I was crossing boundaries without even realizing it. One day, she confronted me and said, "I just need some space." It hit me like a brick. I had completely ignored her need for boundaries, and in doing so, I'd lost her trust and respect. Boundaries aren't barriers. They're healthy limits. When you respect someone's boundaries, you're acknowledging their autonomy. And when you do that, respect naturally follows. 4. Taking credit for others' work. Taking credit for someone else's work is one of the quickest ways to lose respect. Not just from the person whose effort you stole, but from everyone who witnesses it. It's a dishonest, self-serving habit that will make people distrust you. And once that trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. This habit is not just unethical. It's a surefire way to sabotage your reputation. Early in my career, I contributed a fair amount to a team project, but one of my colleagues really went above and beyond. When it came time to present the results, I subtly framed my words to make it seem like I had done more of the heavy lifting than I actually had. I didn't flat out lie, but I made sure the spotlight was on me, not the person who deserved it more. At first, it felt great. The praise was rolling in, people were impressed, and I was getting the recognition I craved. But here's the thing, people always find out the truth. It wasn't long before my colleague realized what had happened, and soon enough, others did too. The admiration I had basked in quickly turned into skepticism and disappointment. Respect isn't earned through shortcuts. It's earned through integrity, collaboration, and honesty. 5. Gossiping about others. The fifth habit that destroys respect is gossip. If you're someone who constantly talks behind other people's backs, people will eventually realize they can't trust you, even if they're participating in the gossip with you. Deep down, they'll start to wonder what you're saying about them when they're not around. Gossiping is one of the quickest ways to destroy any credibility you've built. It creates a toxic atmosphere and fosters distrust. No one wants to be around someone who they feel is constantly talking negatively about others. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of our words and to speak only when it improves the silence. If your words are tearing others down, you're not improving the silence. You're just adding noise. Instead of gossiping, focus on lifting others up. Speak positively about the people in your life, and you'll find that the respect others have for you will grow. 6. Being self-centered. The final habit is being self-centered. If your conversations, actions, and relationships are all about you, your needs, your problems, your achievements, people will lose respect for you. Self-centeredness is exhausting for others to deal with, and over time, they'll start to distance themselves. I used to fall into this trap. I thought that sharing my experiences and problems was a way to connect with people. But what I didn't realize was that I was dominating conversations and making everything about me. Eventually, people stopped engaging with me, and I couldn't figure out why. The reality is, people want to feel heard and understood. When you shift the focus off yourself and start genuinely listening to others, you'll find that respect follows naturally. People appreciate those who are interested in them, not just those who are interesting themselves. So there you have it, 6 habits that, if left unchecked, will destroy any respect you've worked hard to build. But the good news is, you can start making changes today. By being consistent, letting go of the need to always be right, respecting boundaries, giving credit where it's due, avoiding gossip, and shifting your focus away from yourself, you'll find that respect comes naturally. Respect isn't something that's handed out freely. It's earned through actions, through how you treat others and how you handle yourself. So take a moment to reflect on these habits and ask yourself where you can improve. Remember, small changes lead to big results. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.